Blunt Cuts is a podcast fueled by creativity, curiosity, and empowerment.
We cut through the daily mess of life. This is unfiltered honesty.
Park your passive at the door. This is Blunt Cuts. Welcome to Blunt Cuts. I'm CJ, and today we're talking about parenting and the social media pressures of parenting. And today in the studio, I have a mom that I met at my bus stop, Katie Cook. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey,
Thank
Katie.
you for having me.
So I have two kids. Ava is 8, Dash is 5, and Katie has 2 kids.
I do. Lila is, will be 11, and Maggie is 9.
So, yeah, we're at a little bit of different parenting stages.
Yes.
I have someone just starting kindergarten next year.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and you're rolling on into the middle
We're rolling
school.
into middle school. It's exciting and nerve-wracking and crazy to think about. But, honestly, I think I'm more excited for my daughter than she is. I think she's just sort of really scared, and I totally get that. And middle school is a very scary place.
Oh my gosh, those are just those years I deleted from my mental
right? Totally.
anguish.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, it'll be a really fun and exciting and weird, quirky limbo. And
Does this change bus stop times now? You have 2 buses
it totally
now?
does. Yeah,
Wow.
it totally does. Which I'm like,
Gross.
yeah. So totally gross. So she'll need to get on it 30 minutes earlier than Maggie, which is gonna suck.
Ugh,
Hardcore.
gross.
Toad.
Oh my gosh.
Toad's gross.
So I'll get to see
So-
the second version of you now
Yes.
versus the first version of you in the morning. Awesome.
That'll be fun.
Well, yeah, today we're talking all things social media. And I can't wait to cover this with you because
Yeah.
I think our perspectives are very different, which is
Yeah.
always fun. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's get into it.
Cool.
So for me, social media is kind of an extension of my home and my ability to parent as a village.
Mhm. So I don't need social media every day, and when I do, it's like a Kool-Aid shot.
Like shooters.
Yeah.
Shooters of social media. Somebody's going to brand that and it's going to be like a different
Totally.
story experience.
Damn
of
them.
like the shot of Kool-Aid.
We need to copyright it.
So let's talk a little bit about your journey with social media as a parent and kind of how all of that started. And
Okay. Yeah. So okay. So I was sort of late to the whole social media world. A friend of mine, right when Facebook sort of happened, he was on it, and he asked me, he was like, "So are you on Facebook?" And I said, "No, I'm just kind of waiting. I don't really know enough about it yet. I'm sort of a fossil anyway, and I don't really think anyone cares about what I'm doing
Not a
every day."
fossil.
So probably about a year later is when I actually created my account and yada yada. And to me, it's kind of not really fizzled into my world of momhood yet, and I really don't want it to. Just because it's like I have a daughter, Lila, who is watching me sort of like a hawk, and I sort of live in like this little fish bowl sort of, and she watches every single move I make. And so for me, it's like as a kid, like pictures happened on like holidays and birthday parties, and that's it. And that's pretty much the only time that a camera ever came out. And now it's like, you're taking pictures of fucking everything. Of your kids eating sandwiches, or your kids at a park, or taking a bike ride. And it's like, for me, yes, like parts of that are so like, wonderful and magical, and you want to sort of Memorex everything. However, at the same time, for me, it's like I don't think that I sort of want to throw that out there for like, hundreds of, my friends,
hundreds of your
quote,
closest
unquote,
acquaintances.
Yeah, to really see, because frankly, I don't really think that they give a shit. And secondly, I don't, I kind of want to keep that for me. And if it's like out, it becomes sort of less mine. And so, yeah, I just, and Lila doesn't have a phone yet. And so, and that's a whole other thing. And we're sort of thinking about, okay, well, when do we do this and like open this world to her? And when, she does have a phone, social media probably won't, happen on it. Yet at the same time, her friends are on there. So I'm like, well, I don't know. It's like this weird.
So your pressures are kind of coming from this. It's not part of your daily life.
No.
And you want to hold things.
Mm-hmm.
So your pressure is almost like, how do I kind of keep it at check and
Totally.
arms length away and
Totally.
sidearm that
Totally.
Facebook? I'm sidearming
Totally.
you down the field every damn day because you are around me,
Right.
and I'm trying to like
Right.
keep the magic that I have that is real life.
Totally. And, I think a little bit of that is, just sort of my own neuroses and my own kind of being a total control freak that I am. And so, yes, I realize that some of that needs to sort of flow like out of me and be released a little bit softer. And yet at the same time, it's like I'm looking at everyone else's, like pictures of, whatever. And I think that for me, it's like, for me, I think what kind of the thread of it is, it's like if I allow it to be, is sort of this, okay, well, what if Lila sees, like pictures of a, like birthday party or, like pictures of a, like outing that she wasn't involved in, and all of her friends are there. Okay. So then what? So then that's like, sort of like, well,
as grown-ups, we feel that, right?
Totally.
Like, hey, you moms all went out for wine. Where the hell was my invite?
For sure. And
usually I comment that something along those lines.
I'm sure that you have typed that. Totally.
Definitely.
Totally. Fuck you. I needed to be there. Totally.
I also drink wine.
Right.
Should you did not have known.
Granted, it's like all by myself in my bedroom late at
it's
night.
It's usually in the shower crying,
right,
Katie.
Totally.
Let's be honest.
8 a.m. in my kitchen. It's fine. Sort of that fine line of, yes, you want to share fun photos. Yes, you want, like people to see my life is awesome and,
everything is awesome.
Right? Love that song. Yet at the same time, you're just showing highlights. You're just showing, like the, holiday birthday parties. You're not showing like a full-on temper tantrum, like in aisle 9 of, like Target.
Oh, those are my favorite posts, though. Everyone needs to post more of those.
I would totally be like, yes.
Well, Katie, you can be the mom to post real life on Facebook. You can come forward and do that. But,
okay.
I mean, I have such a love-hate relationship with Facebook. I think being it's always been a part of my life. It's Facebook's kind of came about in college for me, and it just always was kind of an extension. I held off for a couple of years when it was just college students, and then I was like, okay, this is a great way. But now it's transformed into such a unique place for extensions of family, and a lot of the original people that I followed or were connected with. Its purpose has changed, and its purpose has shifted for me. And I feel like it's a place where my extensions of family and my aunts that are far away or all my family's far away. So I have no family in the close metro area. Right. So for me, it's an extension and an ability to share the day-to-day with my mom. My mom loves that she's invited to the daycare tier. We are no longer part of the daycare. But to the daycare Facebook page so she can see what Dash's day was like or what Ava's day was like. And it's like, that is such an awesome opportunity that didn't exist before social media.
Totally.
So I think it's opened and made our world a little bit smaller. And I love that aspect of it. And I love that aspect as a parent who honestly every day thinks I'm fucking up my children. Like legitimately, how bad did I fuck them over today? And if I start tomorrow, like, will they still be nice humans? Like, how do I not raise assholes? Like then there's this idea of, I like Facebook as an extension of like, I don't have any sisters that have, kids that are close by. I don't have that network of like people or even neighbors I don't know well enough that I can like ask those hard parenting things too.
Right.
And I think we're just in such a suburban culture, especially like where we live south of the river. It's like drive into your driveway, close your door,
Totally.
And it's not like this extension of like other cultures where people do it together.
Right.
So I see Facebook as like this opportunity and this village place that if I actually have a legitimate question on like where can I take my kids for XYZ swimming lessons, karate, gymnastics, circus. Dash wanted to join the circus, so I had to find that. So without social media and those abilities to say, dear parents, raise my hand. I need help on this.
Yeah.
And it's just, oftentimes it's an outpouring and like you sort through the noise of like what are benefit pieces to me. But I love that village component of it.
Yeah.
So I'm probably an oversharer. I definitely have not really gained a filter as far as Facebook goes. And as a creative in this creative world, like whenever I make or do something, I get so excited to share it.
Yeah.
And Facebook has kind of become that place.
Yeah.
But I know and I hear from a lot of people, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the best highlight reels of people's lives. Don't feel pressure because, and everyone is saying these things like don't feel pressure, it's just the highlight reel. And I feel like I may be adding like unnecessary pressure to people's lives by like, so I'm checking this in the back of my mind, but at the same time I'm like, hey, if I make all this sweet stuff for a birthday party and I'm so into like this party planning or like branded experience for my child's like 8th birthday to the movie theater and limo and red carpet and photo sweep and like, this is my world.
Which I loved, by the way.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
So note that like I'm a creative director throwing my kid a birthday party. This is not like this is what I do.
You don't have to do this.
I don't have to. I love doing it. I love doing it. So then I like share these things and sometimes there's that reaction and people are never honest. Like be honest if you're like, Christina, stop. You're making like don't
too much.
You've shared too much.
Right.
But I don't do that for the likes. I don't do that for the clicks. I do that because I am proud
for sure
of like the things that I've done or made or worked hard for or like proud for the moments to be able to sit back and relax and like I'm happy, like I like sharing that and I like when other people share that too. But that's just who I am,
Right. And see, Facebook is so it's like you can't see why people are doing it. Like you can't see why
description
people exactly.
The feeling thing helps.
Right. The feeling thing totally helps, and like for me, I mean, you were saying how like posting all the pictures, it sort of helps you with your mom or helps her see your family and what's happening, in your family. And for me, it's like literally the polar like opposite. I'm an only child. So is my husband. And so we are very kind of like in our own heads, literally like all the time. And so we just really don't think that people give a shit about our lives enough to really care. Like, oh, you're, like at this really neat event or some new, like outing, and we don't think that like other people are gonna want to like,
no, and I like
go to these places.
I
We're just
covet
like,
those moments
whatever.
of like, I wouldn't know about Can Wonderland if I didn't see people posting pictures about those places.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't know about like the great little things.
Yeah.
And because of the like great people in my life, like
Yeah.
you and Alex are like, they're the couple you want to be friends with, right? Like they're that like,
I don't know about that.
in my little world, I'm like, yeah, those are people I want to hang out with. Like you guys are so chill and your kids are just so kind and you raise beautiful humans and you are beautiful humans. So like, I want to know, like, what do you do? Like, I don't know. Like, I love those moments because to me, it's like, wow, their kids are not assholes. Like they're doing
they can be.
They're doing it right. Like what are they doing with their day? So I don't take it too seriously. Like I think there are times, right? Like for example, like vacation photos sometimes, especially if you're like at a hard financial point in life.
Totally.
Like those can kind of destroy me where I'm like, how did you take your family of 5 to Hawaii for 10 days? Fuck you. We are going to have like mac and cheese again.
Right.
You know, like there have been those times in life where, but at the same time, like, go do that.
Right.
I'm so happy you're doing that. And, you know, like, so there are, of course, those moments of like, geez, what am I not doing right? What decision didn't I make right in life?
Well, for sure. I mean, you know, it's like that the Mindy Kaling book. I think it's called "Is Everyone Having Fun Without Me?" I don't know. It's like you want to be like in it, and you want, you know, like others to see you like in that. And to like it or love it, you know, like or whatever. But at the same time, for me, I guess, I don't know. I kind of, you know, it's like I like seeing it with other people. And yet at the same time, I kind of don't want to buy sort of into the hype of it. You know, it's like I'm on Facebook and that's it. Alex is on Twitter and no, he isn't on Snapchat. He's on Instagram. And, you know, he says that some of it is for work and, you know, like whatever. And I'm like, is it though? Is it? I don't know. And he is much more, you know, about sort of posting whatever than I am. And his big thing is taking pictures of food. Because he's such a foodie.
It's a lot of people's big thing.
Oh my God.
It's
and
okay.
I'm like,
just let it be.
Okay, I get it. Like if I'm having an amazing, you know, whatever. Yeah, but it's my like amazing whatever. It's not anybody else's, you know? And that's just totally the selfish, like only child in me. I'm just like, nope, it's mine. It's mine. It's mine. And I totally like own that. And I will, you know, admit that forever. So I don't know. I think a lot of it for me is just selfishness. Like I don't want other people kind of, you know, luring into my life. And I don't know. I just, no, I want my own little world
it's
where nobody's
mine
in
and
it.
you can't have it.
Totally. It's like ice cream.
But I think that family upbringing and that idea of, you know, how we're raised maybe does have some impact.
For sure.
And, for me, definitely, like I am very hardworking. I have pushed so hard in life to achieve what I have. And a lot of that comes from like, I grew up, my mom was a single mom, me and my brother, and I grew up just watching her like fight the fight, you know? And like like I watched her go into debt because I wanted the latest and greatest jeans. Like I watched those moments that I obviously as a child didn't see. And then I watched them as an adult and I'm like, wow, but my mom did right. Like
totally.
She did right by like the experiences and the moments and like there was no social media.
Totally.
And, like my mom loved taking pictures. So there were a lot of pictures of like random things. Right. But it wasn't geared towards for anyone else to look at it like it was like for, you know, us and for the family or whatever. And like rolls of film later that probably still haven't been developed, you know, who knows what's out there.
Right.
But yeah, I worry that I'm like, oh, sharing so much and I want my kids to like have more than I had. And I think that's where I'm like, okay, I did it right. Yeah. I was at the right place at the right time and got some opportunities. And I'm very thankful for those, you know, and I'm very humbled by that. that could have been anyone else saying yes to that opportunity. And like, I've pushed and worked for
Yeah.
everything.
Yep.
But like, I'm like, I don't want to raise like pretentious, spoiled assholes, you know?
Totally.
And it's so funny because I was typing my notes to this podcast and thinking about it. And I literally typed that, and Ava came and was sitting next to me, and she's like, Mom, why did you type that? And I'm like, because that's how I feel, Ava.
Yeah.
Like, I really worry that, like, so with my 8-year-old, she watched me type, am I like fucking up my children and are they too spoiled? And she's like, Mom, why would you ever type that? So then I was just like, an awesome opportunity for me to be super real with her and just say, here, baby, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Like, I worry about these things. Like, I worry if I'm not like giving you, like what you get to do with all your summer activities and like you have a nanny who takes you wherever you want in the summer. Like this is our first year of that, but I never had that. Like,
oh my God, no.
I mean, my mom went to work and I had to try to keep my brother alive and like maybe figure out how to microwave something because the stove was scary.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
For
the
sure.
stove was still fucking
it
scary
is
to me.
Scary. I hate kitchens. I tell people this pretty much weekly. I hate kitchens, and if I lived alone, I would never be in it ever.
So there's that, you know, and I look at that and I like have this honest conversation with Ava yesterday, and I'm just like, here's the deal. Like, I worry about these things.
Yeah.
Like, you should know that, like, I want you to just be a really good human.
Yeah.
So because I am able to now give you things that I want you to have, because I also, as a mom, I'm like, nowhere I'd rather spend my money on like making it a cool, epic, fucking amazing world for you guys.
For sure.
Like, that makes me happy.
For sure.
But like, can we make sure that we check in and are kind to people? And that's where I try to instill those values in my kids as much in as many places as humanly possible, and like check them when they aren't being great to their friends. And check myself when I'm not being great to my friends or my husband or, you know, whatever it may be. Like,
for sure.
And it's good that we have this at 8. I want her to be able to, which I wouldn't have told my mom or had that feedback to my mom, like, Mom, that wasn't a really nice thing to do. Like, we have conversations about racism. We have conversations about privilege. We have those conversations in our house, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
For sure.
I didn't grow up with that. But like, my kids need to know, this is not quite, you're still on the payroll. You don't get to be a deciding factor at 8 years old.
Totally.
However, like, you're going to know some reasoning behind the decisions I make, or you're going to have to stand by me by the decisions I make, because you know that like this is for
for sure,
a good reason. Right?
For sure. And I got, totally bitched like out by my daughter, Lila. Let's see, this was last week, and we were invited to a water park, sort of last minute. And I said, you know what? No, I don't think it'll really fit in with our day. And holy shit balls, you know, it's like, why do you like always say no? And why don't you want to be, you know, part of whatever? And I'm like, whoa, time out.
Peer pressure.
Time out. Right? And I'm like, listen, okay, you have me home with you like every, you know, like all the time, like every day. Okay. So number one, that's pretty fucking cool, because when I was a kid, summer vacations were like either home alone, like, or at my mom's parents, my grandparents, and my mom was a single mom also, and you know, and I'm an only child, so it was pretty fucking lonely, and I didn't really have a ton of friends, and they were all kind of hanging out with their siblings and whatever, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna hang out with my 60-year-old grandparents or, you know, like 70-year-old grandparents. Sweet. And, you know, I mean, like, honestly, you know, and they would bring me, you know, like mini golfing and, you know, wherever else.
Yeah, I remember a lot of garage sales with my grandpa. Like, that was a big thing we did. Right?
Garage sales.
That free box.
Yeah. Or like, totally. Or like Arby's runs or, you know, like whatever. But, you know, it's like at the same time, summer was also sort of boring. I mean, it was just kind of like relaxing and sort of, boring. And so I tried to kind of relay that message. Like, we don't need our summer days filled with like every single, water park and mini golf and, like pool and like this and this and this. Like, let's just like kind of kick it this afternoon
and maybe look
do
forward to when those things are coming about and plan it out and be like excited for those days, not just having those pop up on a Tuesday.
Right. And, and so to her, like point, I mean, yes, you want to be, involved at like every party and then, like every park outing and like every water park, like event and whatever. Yet at the same time, you don't have to be. And it's not the end of the world if you're not.
So, yeah, I mean, I think those like chill moments are the time that those are the times that I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so like pressured to calm down or pressured to slow down. And I feel pressured to like, oh, should I stay home? Should I give up like what's going on in all my different tentacles of life?
Yeah.
Like, work makes me happy and I love what I do, and it's not work. And I always grew up with the mom who had to go to work and it was work, and the weekends were like gold because work was work.
Yeah.
Work is not work for me. Like, I fucking love all the things that I do so much, and they're so fulfilling and so like cup filling that to me, like, I don't have this extension of like case of the Mondays or like, oh, occasionally I'm like, yeah, sweet, it's Friday, I can like Netflix and chill a little bit on a Saturday. But I don't know, it's those times of like when people are just like relaxed and chill and don't have a thousand things coming on, that's where I feel pressure. And I'm like, hey, check your life. Maybe you should like maybe calm yourself down a little bit and just like be with your family. Like, do that.
Yep.
And that's not just through social media. That's just pressure in general.
For
of
sure.
Like, it's that envious nature of like, I wish I could be home with my kids all the time, but actually I tried that and it wasn't good for them or me. So I think social media can just be one more of those places to feel pressure. And if I need to take a break, or like I said, like if I'm at like a crazy place and I'm feeling down and people are in Hawaii and it's like one of those people who's going to post, the entire week, 40 posts a day, I will just turn it off on my feed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't unfollow my friend. But I will just silence some of the noise.
See, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah,
I legit don't know.
Like, it's okay. But
turn off a feed.
So in your feed, you can say just like unfollow posts from this person for like a hot second, and then you can refollow them. And because Facebook only shows you half of your friends anyway, so you can just not see stuff from certain people.
This is mind blowing.
And especially in this political climate of social media, like I'm unfollowed everyone and I'm like not even looking at my feed because it's just like, I get so frustrated and, helpless and pressured. And I'm just like, yeah, that's it. Goodbye, Felicia.
Right.
So, like, or if there are those people that I'm like, wow, we do not align on any way, shape or form. And I'm just feeling like some weird pressure from you in your life, I'd delete them.
Yeah.
Just like, we can be friends in other components of life, but what you choose to post socially is not in my happy village of what I want to use Facebook parenting. Like, I want it to be the circle of people that I can kind of trust and confide in.
For sure.
My coffee ladies that if I could go have coffee with, that's the
I call them my
people.
martini ladies, actually.
Or that too. Or it was going to be spiked coffee.
Right.
But yes, so if you feel the pressure, some of the lessons learned here, if you feel pressure, take that time and ask yourself why. Why you're feeling this unneeded stress. And if social media is an unneeded stress, like you said, like, you don't have it part of your life, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
But for me, like, it's a tool, and it is a really helpful tool and a wonderful place to parent as a village. So if we just remember, everybody like has their own family story.
For sure.
And yours is just as impactful, Katie, as theirs. And share those real moments of life with each other. And I think it does connect us. And it's the ability to take technology, which is so foreign and people feel we're disconnected, but I think it can really connect us. And then take it to, oh, you guys did that, but are you free this weekend? Or, you know,
Yeah,
it does open
Yep.
up the door for real life too.
Yeah.
You know, so I do think that there are some
True.
opportunities there. So
True. Yeah. I mean, you know, moderation, you know, I mean, with like anything, you know, and and social media is for sure, you know, I mean, I think if you're, I was reading this article in Parents Magazine actually about the pressures of social media on parenting, and they coined a phrase called oversharenting, which I thought was cute, kind of quirky, but
Guilty.
cute, right? And you know, it sort of resonated with me, and I was like, okay, like overparenting. Let me read more. And it was, you know, how children are seeing, you know, like their parents, you know, always like uploading, always snapping, always posting, always. And so they're just like kind of prone to whatever they do. It's like a camera's in their face. It's almost like paparazzi in a way. And, you know, I think that sometimes that
their own personal tablets.
Totally.
Right?
And kids are like, okay, well, whatever I do, somebody else will see it somehow through my parents, you know? So that to me is kind of like, okay, well, they may not realize it now when they're 3 or 4 or, you know, like 8 or whatever, but when they're a little, you know, like a little slightly older, they'll be like, wait a sec, who exactly is seeing this when you share it or when you post it?
Yeah, we've had conversations
You know,
in my house. Like
wait a sec.
I actually do tell Ava, hey, I'm going to post this on Facebook.
Yeah.
Are you cool with that? And she's 8. Like, she doesn't need to be
Right.
cool with that, but I actually like do care
Like,
about
ask her.
her being
Yeah.
cool with that. And
Right.
like just having some of those boundaries, it's part
Totally.
of my family's life and it is part of us. And we're
Yep.
just like, it is not probably going to go away for us, but I do think that there is some mutual respect
For
about,
sure.
hey, like that was really cute and funny what
Yeah.
you did. Do you mind if I like share it with my
Right.
friends and grandma? And sometimes she'll be like,
Right.
oh no, I'm embarrassed. I don't
Yeah.
want grandma to see my singing yet, or it's not
Right.
ready or whatever,
Right.
you know,
Right.
but
Right.
it's
Right.
like, I have started to not
Mm-hmm.
when they're babies. Yeah. Share away,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Like
Right.
what they, but she is starting to like the moms that I'm friends with
Mm-hmm.
are moms of her friends.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they'll
Right.
see stuff and then
Yep.
maybe her friend will see it. So I do have to be
Yeah.
a little bit more aware. So I think you're
Right.
right. Lesson in moderation
Right.
is key. Well, any last words, Katie, on social media pressure?
I don't think so. I think, you know, you've sort of opened my eyes to little worlds in it where, you know what, maybe I hadn't thought of or haven't realized, and now I do.
And mine as well. I mean,
Yeah,
I think I
cool.
love your idea of like coveting magic moments for yourself. And I
Yeah.
may start tucking away some of those magic moments for myself. So
Cool.
it's so awesome to have you today. And thanks for
you.
hanging out with us.
Thank you.
And we'd love to hear about your parenting struggles or successes. So please continue the conversation on Instagram. You can find us at Blunt Cuts Podcast.